everywhere we can see examples of leadership crises and leadership shortages. There are numerous companies and examples in our government and in our world where leadership is failing and struggling to know what to do. I wrote a book about leadership 2 years ago. It's called The 7 Virtues of Exceptional Leaders. And what I realized is I want to share some of the principles and practices and concepts from this book really quickly in a series of videos before the end of the year. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the I. It stands for involve. And there was a practice in I that was really important to me, and it probably changed everything when I began doing this. That's when I really noticed my teams began to get more engaged and more inspired. And it's really simple. So if you meet with your team, or really I should say when you meet with your team, take turns having different people in your group share a leadership thought. Mine was, it was the kickoff of the meeting. So people would prepare something in advance of the meeting, and then they would get that first 15, 20 minutes of the meeting to share their leadership thought. I used to meet with my teams weekly on an hour-long conference call, and then monthly I would pull them in for a whole day of development, which would be 8 or 9 hours. And so on a monthly basis, I would give away what I would call the leadership thought. And those would usually be 25, 30 minutes, and my direct reports all took turns every single month being the one that was in charge of the leadership thought. And they would bring a YouTube video for us to watch, and then we would discuss. They would bring a quote from a book that they had been reading. They would maybe share a personal experience that they had had and then talk about it and encourage us to dialogue about it, or an activity that they had discovered. And they would share with us and kick off the meeting with this thing that had inspired them. And there was always a point to it. Usually the thought would be, how do we lead people better? How do we manage people better? Or how do we manage our time better? Or how do we become more innovative or better critical thinkers? Or how do we have better humility? And how do we develop a growth mindset? And we're okay with struggle and challenge. And from some of these videos, I would discover so much about myself. In many cases, I still share videos that had been shown to me by my direct reports with my clients. Some of the ways I got to these videos and discovered people like Brendan Burchard and Mel Robbins were through these videos being shown to me from my own team. The only rule I really had was that there has to be dialogue. So you're going to go ahead, kick off the leadership thought. Maybe that takes 10 minutes. And then the following 15 minutes, you engage your peers in dialogue. And this was their thing. I did not do this. And I think people got really engaged and involved because they felt like they had a stake in the meeting. And the very first thing we did to start that meeting or start that day was that they heard from someone other than me. And so already the stage was set for, I care about my people. I value what my people think. I don't have to control and manage everything. Other people are getting to step up and share things that are important to them. People really want to hear from their peers, not always just their boss. And so a lot of places in my book, I talk about have dialogue, ask questions, see what people think. Do that when you're one-on-one with them, do that in group settings. But it's so easy to just say, I'm going to have a leadership thought, and I'm going to give those to various people. Bob's going to do it this month. Sarah's going to do it next month. Anjali's going to do it the month after that. Jose's going to do it the month after that. As soon as I get round robin, we'll start again at the beginning. But ultimately, I think we want control so badly. We want the message to come from us. And I would have my opening remarks and my message too, and I would talk about, hey, here's what today's going to be about for me. This is the focus. This is what's been on my mind lately. But right before that would always come this leadership thought. And again, people loved it. I think they felt like they had a say, they had something to prepare. And so if you're trying to figure out, how do I just start with getting my people more involved? How do I get us also in a framework or a mindset of participation is good, dialogues are good? Start your meetings with a leadership thought. Again, if it's an hour-long conference call, maybe the leadership thought is 5 minutes. If it is a 8-hour or 10-hour day, maybe the leadership thought is 25 minutes or a half an hour. But if you give people some say in what they want to use or what they're thinking about to motivate themselves and each other, and everyone knows, okay, it's not my turn this month, but it's going to be my turn next month, it's shocking how engaged people get. And right from the start, you've set this tone of, hey, we're not going to be on our phones, we're not going to be checking email, we're not going to be disengaged or distracted looking at other things. We're going to get something out of today. And so your meetings become more productive. People are more excited to go to them. People usually are like, oh, who's got the leadership thought today? They're driving there wondering. They get excited, especially when it's their turn. And so have a leadership thought, an inspirational thought, a motivational message, whatever you want to call it, but have the kickoff of your meetings be something not from you, from your team, and you'll be shocked at how much more people are excited to be part of your meetings. With that, everybody make a great day, and if you want to learn more about all of my leadership thoughts, philosophies, ideas, buy this book, 7 Virtues of Exceptional Leaders, chock full of all of the things that I tried, all the things that didn't work, all the things that do work, and really how to get your team excited and engaged. So if you've been seeing leadership not going the way you want at your own organization or throughout organizations around you, pick up this book and learn a little more. With that, everybody make a great day.